Today we will discuss why devotional loving service to God surpasses any religious or spiritual practices. Almost nobody in our world knows what true happiness is. And if you were to explain what it looks like, how it is manifests, and how it is achieved to an ordinary person, he simply would not believe it. So, true happiness comes when a person begins to feel love for God. And the stronger this love, the happier the person becomes. And here is why. God has two main types of energies: higher spiritual energy and lower material energy, also known as the energy of ignorance. Accordingly, there are two types of happiness a person can experience: higher spiritual happiness and lower material happiness, which isn't truly happiness, but merely a temporary respite from suffering. No matter how rich and successful a person is, as soon as problems begin to pour on their head, the illusion of happiness evaporates, and they immediately become unhappy, regardless of how much money they have on their bank account. True, genuine spiritual happiness differs from material happiness in that it never leaves a person. It continuously intensifies regardless of life's problems. Once a person establishes a relationship with God and experiences the initial ecstasy of loving Him, they no longer want anything else except to continually feel and increase the bliss they experience. People simply don't know that such happiness is possible and can only be attained by the grace of God. But many people know that the less we sin and the more good deeds we perform, the more material blessings God bestows upon us. Therefore, instead of directing their efforts towards attaining higher spiritual bliss and restoring relationship with God, people continue to chase lower material happiness, which only brings them new problems. It is precisely the desire to obtain vast wealth, fame, and prosperous family that drives people to adhere to a certain religion. Religions were created by God so that by following religious principles and restrictions, a person does not forget God, can fulfill their material desires, cleanse themselves from sins, elevate spiritually, and gradually revive their love for Him. This is a long religious path, taking more than one lifetime to achieve true happiness. The religious path is not actually spiritual, but material, because following this path, a person wants God to fulfill their desires. They are not interested in God Himself or what He wants. However, there is another path called devoted loving service to God. This path is eternal, completely spiritual and transcendent. Because serving God with love, a person seeks to make God happy, not themselves, and to fulfill His desires, not their own. But do not think that if you embark on the path of devoted service, your desires will not be fulfilled. On the contrary, God loves His devotees very much and fulfills all their wishes. Devoted service and love for God is the greatest gift that a person can receive from Lord, as it allows them to grow spiritually quickly, feel spontaneous love for God, become His eternal companion, and experience spiritual bliss and happiness. But it's not easy to achieve, because initially a person cannot directly serve God. They need to be prepared. So they must turn to a spiritual teacher, a pure devotee of God, and start listening to and serve them. Any pure devotee is a direct representative of Lord, sent by Him to impart spiritual knowledge and help God liberate people from this full of suffering place, returning home to the eternal spiritual world. The most famous representative for most people is Jesus, but there have been and are many other lesser known messengers who are no less significant than him, simply coming with different missions. Since a true spiritual teacher is an embodiment and manifestation of God, not different from Him, authorized by Him, and is a mediator between humans and God, only from him can one receive true spiritual knowledge and begin devoted service. The only problem is that, in our time, finding such a person is very difficult. Our world is full of charlatans, who will not only teach you nothing, but also ruin your life. But if you are sincere in your desire to know God, revive your love for Him, and find true happiness, then confidently ask Him for this. And after that, listen to your heart, because God will guide you from within to His pure devotee, who will help fulfill your desire. Thank you for watching.